the top 16 stocks to buy right now in December 2024. Man, I've been doing this monthly video all year long in 2024. This is the last one I'll do. And if you remember, I started it with 24 top stocks to buy in 2024. And since then, since the first announcement, I've took some stocks off the list and I'm taking three more off the list this month. I'm taking them off because of several factors, which I'll discuss in this video. I've now got it down to 16 top stocks to buy. I'll share with you each of those stocks in just a little while. And I'll also share with you the performance of my top stock portfolio year to date in 2024. I have outperformed the S&P 500 index year to date. I'll share with you precisely how much and the drivers of that growth. I'll share individual stocks and how they performed year to date. So let's get right into it.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
The first batch of stocks on my list of top stocks to buy: Nvidia, Chewy, Amazon, Snap, Fiverr International, Uber, Alphabet, and Salesforce. I'm removing today in this video, I'm removing Salesforce. It has been a outperformer year to date. It's up over 25%. And there's several reasons why I'm removing Salesforce, one of which is that outperformance and the valuation actually. I don't mind when a stock does really well. I don't take a stock off the list just because it's done really well. As you can see, Nvidia is still on my list, even though it's up over 179%, because Nvidia's earnings have increased enough to justify that price increase. Whereas with Salesforce, I think the stock price has gotten ahead of the earnings growth. And that's partly why I'm taking Salesforce off the list here today. I'll share with you all of the changes in the list, what I've taken off, what remains. Towards the end of the video, I'll kind of provide a summary and regrouping of all of these numbers and names. The next batch of stocks here: Meta Platforms, Netflix, UiPath, Target, which I am removing off the list. I removed Target off the list following the company's disappointing earnings release. I'm sure you saw that or heard about that. I did a video on that and I took Target off my list then. The Home Depot, I'm also taking off my list. I'll share that with you a little bit later as well. Nike, an underperformer, but I'm keeping Nike on the list. Visa, the Walt Disney Company, AMD, which has disappointed stock market investors this year, especially when you compare to Nvidia, how well Nvidia has done compared to how poorly AMD has done, has been a big story in markets this year. Zoom Video Communications, I'm keeping that on there, and Micron Technology. So those are my list of top stocks to buy and the performance here. Now, some stocks that used to be on my list that I removed last month are PayPal, eBay, and Alibaba, and here's their performance: 29, 31, and 26% year to date performance. I removed these stocks a little over a month ago, but since they were on my list for almost a whole year, I included it with the performance. So if you want to compare all that against the S&P 500, that's returned 19.64% year to date in 2024. So let me bring the list and the performance, the portfolio return, and a collection of what's been removed from that list. All right, so here I have my list and how they've performed, the stocks that I've removed, the portfolio return against the S&P 500 index, and my outperformance. So my portfolio return has so far given me 25.81% in 2024. That's an excellent return. I'll take that every year between now and forever against the S&P 500, which has delivered 19.64%. So my performance outperformed by 6.17 percentage points. So I have outperformed the S&P 500, and this has fluctuated throughout the year. I haven't had an outperformance reported every single month of the year, but here we are in December, and so far I have outperformed. This could change between now and the end of the year, but I do expect to beat the S&P 500 in most years. Not every single year, but I do expect to beat the S&P 500 index in most years with my selection of top stocks to buy. Now, I have removed several off of my list throughout the months. I mentioned already Alibaba, eBay, and PayPal, which I removed last month. In this month's video, I'm removing Home Depot, I'm removing Target, and I'm removing Salesforce. So 3 more. And that brings us to 16 stocks when you count Nike, Amazon, Micron, Chewy, AMD, Disney, Google, Visa, UiPath, Netflix, Zoom Video, Meta Platforms, Uber, Snap, Fiverr, and Nvidia. Those remain on my list. Those are my top stocks to buy right now in December. And if you're considering how I select my stocks, I look at a 6 factor framework or a 6 step framework to evaluate stocks. The most prominent or the most heavily weighted factor I consider is valuation, which is about 40% of my decision making criteria is valuation. And then I include other factors, including the size of the market opportunity the company operates in, the competition, whether it's increasing, decreasing, the level of intensity of competition, the risks. Of course, I consider the risks of each of these businesses, the unit economics, if the company can sell their products at a reasonable profit. And of course, that goes hand in hand with the customer value proposition, which I ask the question, how much do customers like this company's product? And then that goes together with unit economics. Can they deliver a product that customers really like? And can they deliver that product at a low enough cost to generate a profit in business, right? A lot of businesses can offer you a great product at a great price, but they do so while losing so much money on the bottom line that the business is not viable, it's not sustainable. And so that's not a business I would like to invest in. And so that's kind of an overview of my 6 step framework, and I've utilized that to make these selections. These are the stocks that I like according to my framework. I encourage you to conduct your own due diligence before deciding on any of these stocks. I say this almost every month with every one of these videos. Don't just look at my picks and come to the conclusion that, oh, well, Parkev has outperformed the index and Parkev has a CFA and he's a finance professor and he's been doing this for so many years. He spent so much time covering so many stocks. I should just listen to whatever he says and make my choice that way. I don't need to do any of my own due diligence. I caution against doing that. I caution against believing that I have some sort of special stock picking ability that excludes your responsibility from doing your own due diligence, right? This should be to help you following your own research. Maybe you follow your own research and you come to the conclusion that Visa is a good stock to buy. And then you come and double check my research and you find that, oh, Parker also agrees with that. And hopefully that helps you in your decision making process. So we're approaching 2025 here, and it's been a great 2024. Of course, I will have my top stock to buy in 2025, that whole list and everything, once we get into the new year and that starts rolling around. Hopefully, this outperformance continues till the end of 2024. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.